Hey guys, my name is Danica. Let's get started here. We're at MYOM Yoga. Your starting position is Sukhasana if it's comfortable for you, legs crossed. Sukhasana meaning easy pose, so it should be fairly comfortable so that you can relax and begin your practice, okay? So take your time to settle into this pose. Really allow everything to root down. Your base is completely heavy. Hands find a place on your lap. And let's allow the eyes to be drawn in. Maybe the eyes fully closed. Big inhale, let's start to sit up and lengthen through the spine. On an exhale, surrender shoulders, let them melt, everything beginning to soften and sink in. With every breath, allowing this pose to be more comfortable, your body finding a sense of ease and peace sinking in. Allow your breath to be very natural. Not forcing any inhale, not exaggerating or forcing any exhale. Allow yourself here to be the witness or the observer of your body, of your mind, and scan through, noticing where we tend to be holding. Scan your mind, notice any trend of your thoughts, any certain patterns. And with your next inhale, let's gather everything up, any tension, any thoughts. And on an exhale, letting them all go. Continue to stay focused with your breath. Trying to almost bring ourselves into this state or this essence of just being. Nothing needs to be a certain way. Nothing has to be done in the grand scheme of things. So allow yourself to fully be involved and present in your practice today. And any time the mind does wander, without judgment, just bring yourself back. That constant training of the brain, that constant gentle reminder to focus on what is happening, what is. Slowly that becomes easier and easier, and we tend to lose stress when we can stay in the present moment. We can shed the thoughts of our future, we can shed the stress of the past or anything that may be in our lives, may be happening around us. And let's take one final breath, a big deep inhale together. Long, drawn in. Hold at the peak of your breath, and then parting the lips, a long sigh out through the mouth. From here, let's start to open the eyes. Bring a little shoulder roll, shoulders moving back. Beginning to awaken the body. Bring some movement lower into the torso. Allow yourself to just flow around, circling, finding that opening through the chest, that rounding through the back. When it feels right, switch directions. Use your hands, maybe gently pushing to exaggerate that round, that opening through the backside. Maybe some muscles drawing yourself even forward, a little deeper. And then coming back through to center. Again, rooting down through the sits bones. Let's bring our arms alongside our body and flip the palms so that they face behind you. With an inhale, we'll lift the arms halfway up. Flip the thumbs toward the ceiling and exhale the rest of the way. Palms connecting overhead, gaze can lift. Let's inhale, arms out towards the sides, thumbs still up toward the ceiling. Exhale, flip the thumbs down, dropping your hands alongside your body. Let's inhale and flip, exhale up. Inhale, open, exhale, flip and down. Good, inhale up, flip, exhale together. Inhale, reach through the sides. Exhale, thumbs down, releasing arms. Inhale, let's reach. Exhale, flip the thumbs, palms connect, sides of the body long. Can we hold here for a moment? You can let the breath flow. Become hollow, draw the belly in. The ribs stick out, pull them back. Knit the low ribs toward the front hip bones. Can your pelvic bowl sit upright? And then find your next inhale to open the arms wide. Flip the thumbs down, exhale, releasing through your arms. Good, let's inhale, reach the arms high, nice and normal. And exhale, hands come down through heart center. Let's bring the hands behind our low back. Interlace the fingers, drawing the shoulders onto your back body. Shoulder blades in toward one another. Open the heart, try to reach the sternum as high as you can toward the ceiling. Your gaze may lift. Your next inhale, releasing. Let's bring the legs forward out in front. Pull the toes back towards you. Arms reach and melt over your legs. Very gentle here. Allow yourself to sway. Always find freedom in your movement. So although I guide you into a pose, feel free to move, to add variations. It is your practice. Listen to your body and answer it with anything it may be asking for. A deeper challenge or easing off, rest, water. This is a time to truly come into our body. Appreciate and be grateful for all the movements we can find. This practice isn't only about the movement of the body and finding certain asanas. It's also about the movement of the mind. Is there any shift that happens from the beginning to the end of our practice and over time? Movement of the breath, finding deeper areas of the body. The breath flowing more smoothly, finding space. It might be about the physical body and finding that sense of greater strength, maybe deeper flexibility. Maybe it's just about finding that sense of being comfortable in the body, shedding some of the tension, letting it dissolve and waft away. When you're ready, let's walk the hands back, sitting up into our Dandasana, our staff pose. We'll come to the left foot coming to the inside of the sole of or the inside edge of our right leg. And then we find ourselves leaning forward again, as if both legs were still there. We have that opening through the back of our hamstring. We have our knee working towards the floor, and perhaps that's stretched through the low side back. Maybe the quadratus lumborum, awareness being sent there. You may decide that this is fairly comfortable for you, so feel free to walk the hands back. Feel free to stack that outer edge of the ankle on top of your thigh. Just be mindful here, we want that ankle to be strong. So if you find that it's starting to collapse, or what I call sickling, the foot pulling in, we might be causing or risking injury at the ankle, at the knee. We really want to find a flexed foot, so the toes pulling towards the shin bone. And really this movement, the lower part of the leg stays exactly as it is. It's really happening at the hip. All that opening up is your hip joint. Once you find your ankle on your thigh, strong as can be, then again, feel free to lean forward. Can we keep the spine long? Maybe trying to open the chest, reaching it forward as if it was going to pass your foot. And from here, let's walk our hands back, and we'll place that foot to the outside of our thigh. Right hand will come back behind you. Start lifting up through that left arm onto the outer edge of that right foot. Reach overhead through the left fingers, finding a long stretch through your right side body. You can press down through your left foot, maybe finding that the hips lift, a deeper opening. One more breath here. Good. With your next inhale, starting to reach up. Let's exhale, drop your hips down towards the floor. Feel the left side of your body become long. And on your inhale, let's lift up again. Press through that left foot. Left fingers reach back, hips are high. And let's exhale then, dropping the hips right back down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, releasing your hips down to the mat. Wonderful. Hand comes behind, both legs forward. A very quick Paschimottanasana, hands up, and exhale, folding over the legs. Breathe into the entire back body. Exhale to release in. Let's walk the hands back. Pull your right leg in. Outer edge of the ankle down toward the mat, sole of the foot toward your inner thigh. Reaching the heart space forward, finding that length, heart open, knee working its way toward the mat, and finding your forward fold. This side could be different. Perhaps one hamstring is tighter than the other. Maybe one side of the low back is tighter than the other. Knee maybe can drop on one side but not the other. We tend to find these differences in the body in our yoga practice, but we don't judge. We just become aware. Maybe we bring in a greater sense of balance throughout the entire practice as we move along. A few more breaths here, trying to keep the hips square to the top of the mat, your shoulders square, reaching toward the floor as you lengthen through the spine and release down. Let's take one more inhale. Beautiful. Feel free to stay here if you want to find that deeper variation. Again, let's keep that calf in towards that thigh. Lifting the foot up, pull the toes back towards your shin bone, nice and strong, flex through the ankle. Place that outer edge of the ankle then on top of your thigh. All the rotation happening at the hip. If we feel it in the knee or ankle, it might be too deep. Feel free to place your foot back down onto the floor. Leaning forward, hands can come down onto the mat. And I didn't say this on the other side, but often if this is new or fairly tight, but we're still starting to build into this next step, sometimes that ankle on the thigh is a little painful, okay? We can start to feel that muscle being compressed. So if that's you, feel free to use a block or a book or anything you have at home and place it on the inside of that thigh, and then place your ankle on top of that support, okay? You'll still start to work into the hip a little deeper, but take that pressure off the thigh. Slowly you can start to build that foot, moving it across, okay? Let's find one last breath. In our forward fold, and then begin as you exhale to release back, okay? That foot will then come across again onto the outside of the left leg. Left hand comes behind you. On an inhale, let's roll onto the outer edge of the left leg, sweeping your right arm up overhead. Come to the supported side plank. Hips are high. Press down through that right foot. Root but extend up. When you're ready, an inhale, arm reaches up towards the ceiling. And let's exhale, dropping the hips down to the mat. Feel the left side of your body lengthen. Full inhale, lifting up. Root through that left hand, lift out of the left shoulder. Your next inhale, arm can reach up, and exhale, dropping your left hips down to the mat. Inhale, last time. That extra little lift. And on your exhale, rooting the hips down. Good. Coming back through to center, full inhale, arms lift. And exhale, melting over your legs. One big inhale, lift up. And exhale, let's fold. Releasing out of the pose. Bring it across the legs or swivel them off to the side, rolling forward, coming into your tabletop. Tabletop, shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Let's extend that right leg back behind us. You can point through the toes, and then let's start to bring that foot off towards the right side. Okay? We'll inhale, start lifting that foot up, around behind you, maybe as high as you can go, still pressing down through your hands, and exhale that foot off to the other side, as if you're creating a rainbow behind you. So let's inhale, lift up, and you can exhale as you drop the leg down off to the right. Let's inhale, and exhale. So a lot of opening for the side body here. Inhale to lift, and exhale down. You might find that extension through the spine. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, bring that leg back behind you, and then exhale, rounding in. Pull that knee in towards your chest. Hold here. Can you press down through the hands, trying to create more space? Driving the chest up, puffing the space between the shoulder blades, finding that the knee can hug in close. Keep pushing through the arms, chin tucking in. Your next inhale, open, let your belly drop. And exhale, we'll step that foot through this time. Your next inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands down. Good. Bring the outside of the right hand to the inside of that right knee. Let's sweep the left arm up overhead. Pull the belly in, almost deepen or become even more hollow through the front body. You're pressing that back foot down into the floor. Maybe you feel your hip flexor already firing up. If you'd like, add in that same side bend. Good, come right back up through to center. Let your hands root alongside the floor and step that right leg back. Come to the other side, the left leg. We extend it back behind us. We'll bring it over towards the left side. And then inhale, lifting the leg up behind you, perhaps as high as you can, and exhale that leg off to the right side. Your next inhale, lifting the leg high, and exhale, dropping it off to the side. Keeping that going. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, rise, exhale, lower. Inhale, strengthening the back body. Exhale, releasing. Inhale to rise, and exhale down. And inhale, last one. And exhale, releasing down. Good, let's inhale, come back through to center. On an exhale, drive your knee in towards your chest, chin towards your knee, pressing away from the floor through your hands. Rounding, feel the back body open. One more breath. Your next inhale, open up, extend that leg back, and exhale, step in between your hands. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands through heart center. Outside of the left hand to the outside or inside of that left knee. Inhale the arm high, press down through that back foot. Pull the belly in, deepen that hollowness through the front body, and let's exhale, melting into that side bend. As you do this, notice if your knee starts to open up, really press it into your hand pressing into your knee. And we'll come up through to center. Hands can frame that front foot. Let's curl the back toes under and step back to our downward facing dog. Hips are high up and back. Good, keeping the heat generating in the body. Let's lift the heels high. Roll forward to your high plank. Exhale, bend the knees, hips toward the heels. Inhale to your downward dog. Roll forward to your high plank. On your exhale, bend your knees, send the hips back. Inhale, rise, roll to your high plank forward. Exhale, hips move back. Inhale up, rolling through the spine. Exhale, bending through the knees. Inhale, let's come to our high plank. And exhale, drop the knees down. Lower the chest to the mat, elbows squeezing your side body. Inhale, head and shoulders peel off the mat. And exhale to release down. Hands walk forward, intimidation cobra. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, lowering. Reach the arms forward in front. Inhale, lift your left hand and your right leg. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lift your right hand and left leg. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lift both arms and legs. And exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Everything lifting, everything reaching. Exhale, down. Inhale, rise. And exhale, down. Hands come to the low side ribs. Inhale, full cobra. And tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands and start walking your feet forward. At the top of your mat, inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, melting over the legs. Let's inhale, sweep your arms high, rooting through the feet. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, interlace hands, Bringing them down through heart center, lifting that right knee in front. So we'll press our interlaced hands down on that knee while driving that knee up into our hands, creating strength for the front body. Try to relax your shoulders as you do this. One more inhale and exhale. Okay, inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, send that leg back, tipping forward to your warrior three. Pull the belly in. Again, reach through fingertips. Let's reach through the heel. Toes pull towards your shin bone. So again, we tighten up, we zip up through the front body. When you're ready, let's bend our standing leg, drop our back toes down to the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms high, high crescent. Let's exhale, frame that front foot. Step back to your high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga, belly to spine. Inhale, upward lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. Navel to spine. Push through the hands. Lengthen through the entire upper body. Heels descend toward the floor. Lower half of the body opening through the backside as well. Inhale, look to your hands, bend your knees. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, sweep all the way up. And exhale, hands through heart center, interlacing, lift that left knee. Press your hands down into that front thigh as your thigh presses up into your hands. Root down through your right leg. Relax the shoulders. Your next inhale. Let's sweep the arms high. Exhale, warrior three. Tip forward, reach through your heel. Pull the toes towards you. Your entire body is long, resisting that push of gravity. The breath flowing smooth. Hips square. And when you're ready, dropping that back foot down to the mat. Inhale, arms sweep high. Let's exhale, frame the front foot. Step back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Elbows stay stacked over your hands. Inhale to rise. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath. With your next exhale, let's drop our forearms one at a time or together down to the mat. Palms can root into the floor or interlace your hands. Let's push away from the floor through the forearms to the elbows. Find your dolphin pose. Next, inhale, drop your knees down to the mat. Lift up into your tabletop. Exhale to hold. We'll send our right leg back behind us. And with an inhale, turn the toes open so that we stack our right hip on top of the left. Become light in your right fingertips. Sweep your right arm up into the air. Gaze toward your hand. That left foot can always turn out, being that kickstand for support. And if it's comfortable, bring a bend to that back leg, clasping your foot, turning the chest and gaze toward the ceiling, and belly pulling in. Can your thighs stay parallel to the and get that stretch through your psoas. Your next inhale, releasing. Exhale your hand down. Send your left leg back behind you. Inhale the hip opening up. Sweeping your left arm up towards the ceiling. Holding strong. Belly still pulling in. Can you bring a bend to that back leg, reaching for the foot. Find that clasp or that bind. Right foot can kick out behind you for support. Knee points directly back behind you, thigh parallel to the floor, rolling the gaze up. Feel it through the thigh, feel this through your hip flexor. Maybe your shoulder is opening as it grabs your foot. Let's release that leg on an inhale, arm reaches. Exhale, hand and knee return to the mat. Tuck the toes under, find your downward facing dog. Widening the feet so that they're about mat distance apart. Connecting to your breath. Maybe swaying the hips side to side, finding some movement. And then staying strong through the upper body. Root down through your left palm, belly to spine. Take that right hand toward your left calf or ankle. Take your gaze underneath your left armpit, your upper arm. A bit of a twist here through the spine. Let's return that right hand down to the mat. Press down through that palm, hollow through the body. Bring the left hand across toward your right ankle or calf. Maybe you're just reaching in that direction. Releasing that hand back. Let's turn the toes slightly out and walk the hands back so that we can lower down into our squat. Okay. It can be more challenging to keep the toes pointing forward, so if you're working on that, feel free to engage that. Hands come to heart center. Press the palms into one another. Try to feel that you're opening and lengthening across your collarbones. Elbows will then press into the inner knees. And as the elbows do that, maybe a deeper opening through the hips. But let's also engage the hips and press the knees back into the elbows. So we're resisting, again, ourselves through the upper arms and through the knees. As we hold here, you might decide to turn the fingers down towards the floor. A little opening for the forearms. Fingers can turn back upwards. Feel free to drop that left shoulder down towards the left inner knee. Inhale, opening the arms wide. On an exhale, come back through to center. And with an inhale, we'll drop the right shoulder and open the arms wide. Let's bring our hands back through to center. Maybe holding and staying in this pose a little longer. If we've been working on crow, feel free to bring your hands down to the mat. Spread the fingers wide. And then start to squeeze the knees in on the arms. So always the tendency, often in crow, is to let the elbows splay. Just like in chaturanga, that push-up pose. We want the elbows to stay in. When the elbows bend, they point back behind us. So the knees squeezing on the arms will help avoid that tendency, okay? It'll almost suck everything in towards your midline. While that's happening, your feet can come closer towards one another. Pull your belly in towards your spine and think about driving your energy or your upper body forward, rather than down. If there's any fear that you're going to land on your face, bring a blanket underneath, bring a pillow, something that helps kind of ease that tension or that fear. Now the other main thing before we go in is always bring engagement into your hands. That gripping action with the fingers will help bring some balance into your body, okay? So again, shifting forward, keep the knees driving in on the elbows. Energy forward, feel free to lift one foot off the mat. You can play around holding that. You can play around with lifting the other foot off the mat. Maybe we bring both feet off of the mat. Your gaze is toward the floor, belly in, elbows in, knees working in. And then if you're comfortable in this pose, feel free to shoot back to your chaturanga or step back to a chaturanga and then lift up to your upward dog or cobra. On an exhale, send the hips up and back, your downward facing dog. Then looking towards your hands, start to walk your hands or your feet forward. Top of the mat, inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. A gorilla stance. We'll bring the back of our hands down to the mat, stepping our feet on the palms, toes just pressing into the wrist crease. We bring that bend into the elbow here, and feel free to let the elbows kind of splay here. Driving yourself forward over the legs. Now if the hands don't reach the floor, use your block, use a book, any prop at home. Maybe you go up to a staircase and that first step becomes your prop. Back of the hands can just rest into that. Find one last breath here. Okay, from here, we'll step off of the hands. Inhale, find your flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms high. And exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back. Chaturanga. We inhale to rise. And we exhale, downward facing dog. Drop the inner edge of your left foot. Inhale the right leg high. And exhale, step that foot through to the top of your mat. Warrior two, we windmill the arms up. Stretching out from their shoulders. Gaze over that front middle finger. Try to sink in towards that knee and look down towards your foot. If your knee is caving in, try to work it towards the right side. Belly in, tailbone tucking. We'll flip that front palm up towards the ceiling and reach up and back. Our exalted warrior, stretch through the side body. With an inhale, let's reach forward, and exhale, bring either the forearm onto your front thigh, left arm reaching overhead, or start to drop your hand down onto a block or onto the floor. Turn your gaze toward your bicep. Maybe you can extend the gaze up towards your fingers. One more breath here. Take a moment, wherever you are, either your hand, your forearm on your thigh, or your hand on the floor. Take a moment, press through that right foot, start straightening that leg. Hand can come onto the shin, or the hand can stay rooted into the mat or block. Finding your triangle pose. bring that left hand down to the mat. Bend into that front knee. Roll onto your back toes and use that block or that upside down cup, whatever prop you have, and we'll bounce forward. So shifting our weight onto that front right foot. And we're going to lift. Our hand can root into our prop or it can root into the floor. We start to open the hip and sweep the left arm up overhead. Pull the toes toward your shin. Pull your belly in. If you can, lift to fingertips or maybe find your balance. Good. From here, let your hands root into the floor. Step that left leg back. Inhale, 3-leg downward dog. Right leg sweeps high. You can roll that hip open, and if you'd like, drop the foot to the mat, open up for wild thing. Right hand sweeps across, lifting that right leg high. Let's shift forward to our high plank. Leg can stay lifted if you'd like. Exhale down to your chaturanga, foot drops. Inhale up, and exhale, downward facing dog. The next one, next side, we drop our right heel in towards the mat. We sweep the left leg up and back, and we exhale, stepping through between the hands. Windmill the arms up, Virabhadrasana B. Shoulders stay stacked over the hips. Arms reach out through the sides, bending into that front knee. Belly in, tailbone tucks. Working your left knee over toward the left side. We'll flip the front palm up. Keep the legs as they are, reach up and back. A stretch for your side body. Strong foundation in the legs. Let's come forward, either your forearm onto your front thigh, right arm reaching overhead, or your hand down to a block or the floor. Turning your gaze toward your bicep, maybe along your arm toward your fingers. Belly pulling in, hips slightly forward. Try to avoid sticking the glutes out behind you. When you're ready, that action of straightening the front leg. Maybe that forearm slides down and hand on your shin. One more breath. Yeah, bringing that right arm down to the mat, lunging into that front knee, turning onto the back toes. Again, working on that shift forward and back, knowing that we're going to be stepping into that front left foot. Use a block if you would like, or hand to the floor. We shift, roll that right hip open, rolling the right arm up towards the ceiling, chest opening. Flex your back feet. Again, long stretch through the side body. We might be opening up here, bringing in strength by lifting up. Fingers reaching toward the floor, but unsupported. Let the side body do some work. Good. Then letting that hand drop, left hand roots. Step your leg back. Inhale, left leg up and back. And exhale, bending into the knee. You can come to your wild thing if you would like. Fully expanding, reaching, heart opening. And with an exhale, hand comes down to the mat, leg lifts. We can shift forward, find your chaturanga, and on your inhale, rise. Exhale, downward facing dog. With an inhale, let's look towards the hands. Bend the knees, step, hop, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale to rise, and exhale to fold. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold. Good. So let's take a moment. We're going to come down onto our knees here and find our dolphin pose once again. So palms can either be rooting into the mat or interlace your hands. We press back through the elbows and through the forearms. Our toes tuck. We lift the hips high. Walk your feet in. Come to a place where you feel yourself opening through the shoulders, head dropping heavy. And then take a moment to lift one leg up into the air. And then switch sides. Drop that leg down. Lift the other one up. Play around with that shift of the weight going slightly forward, heavier down through the upper body, toward the arms. And exhale down. Feet can be hip distance apart. Turn your palms down into the floor. Let's lift the elbows off the mat. We'll do this a couple times, letting the elbows fully fall and drop toward the mat. So slowly, elbows stay in towards one another, finding that place. And then inhale, let's lift up. If you have a block at home, the challenge would be place it down on your mat so that when you drop your elbows, you can squeeze in on that block. Then as you lift, you try to keep the block in between the elbows. So it can be a lot of work. Let's play around, dropping down and lifting up. Dropping down. Really find that work. Elbows squeezing in. Nicely done. And exhaling, arms can drop. Perfect. Knees drop down to the mat. Lifting up, slide that block out of the way. And we'll come down, folding over the legs. Hands walk back. You can clasp your heels. Maybe you want to clasp your hands on your low back. Maybe a variation of rabbit. You want to lift your glutes, lift your hips so that you can roll toward the crown of your head. Then you can lift your hands toward the ceiling or let them fall forward. Letting the hands come down, roll toward your forehead. Release the clasp and hands can walk forward. Let's inhale, lift to your tabletop. And exhale, find your downward facing dog. We'll walk our feet forward. If you can, walk the feet between your hands. And then see if you can bend through the knees, chin tucking in. And slowly coming down towards a seated position. Okay. We'll let the legs extend out in front. Grab hold of your blocks or your books, any support. And we're going to be lifting our glutes off of the mat. So we'll lift up, pressing the hands down. And then work on lifting one leg off of the mat. Feel the front of your body engage. You can draw yourself slightly back so that you can almost round here to really get some work pressing down through the hands. Keep that leg lifted. And then let's slowly lower everything down to the mat. Take a deep breath in. And releasing out. We'll root the hands down into the block. Lifting up. Let's lift the opposite leg. So lifting it high, engaging through the front body. Again, maybe pulling that bottom heel slightly back, rounding through the back body. One more breath, holding strong. And exhaling down. Let's take a deep breath in. And an exhale out. Beautiful. Our first lift, we're going to bend the knees. Bringing our feet or ankles to a cross. And then our hands root into the blocks again. Squeeze the knees not only in towards your midline, but also towards your chest. Belly in as much as you can, and you can round as much as you want through the back. Hands root, find that exhale, engage, and then let's press up. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Knees in toward one another, knees pulling in. Push through your hands. Find your breath. And then let's slowly begin to release down. Awesome job. Remember that crossing of the legs that you have, or stay as you are. Take that breath, releasing out, and then we're going to cross the other way, okay? Again, knees work in towards one another, calves pull towards your thighs, everything in towards your chest. Okay, let's root down through the hands, lifting the hips high, feet off the mat, squeezing in. Belly to spine, root through the hands, try to find this extra lift. Breath flowing, bring in that energy. Prana is needed. One more inhale. And let's fully drop down. Legs can extend, take that breath in. Full breath out. Good. Our last one. Legs will be extended. Pull the toes back towards you. Zip up through the entire front. And we'll find our work here. Root the hands into the blocks. Drop the shoulders. Round, belly in. And here we go. Deep breath in. And out. Push. Squeeze legs in towards one another. Belly to spine. One more inhale. And an exhale. Awesome job. Let's move the blocks off to the side. Find a bound angle, soles of the feet coming together. Hands wrap around the toes. Big inhale, chest opens. And exhale, folding forward. Take a moment here just to connect to your breath. So I wanted to work on the core, the abdomen, find some strength in this area before we come into our next movement. Often in the next movement, I find that there tends to be weakness in this area. And so I wanted to really focus in here so that it's activated and we can find it more easily in this pose to help us in the pose, okay? So we're going to lift up, roll onto your knees, come into your tabletop. We'll tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back, and then slowly finding a variation of a handstand. We're going to lift one leg up into the air, bend into your rooted foot, that knee, and then look towards your hands, and we're going to find a hop. Okay, we'll do this a couple times. Feeling that shift of the weight, forward, fingers grip into the floor, just like that crow pose. Use the fingers to help your balance here. And then slowly, when you come to a top, let's switch. Drop through the other foot and start kicking off that leg. Now if you notice, or if you're watching, I keep the legs fairly staggered so that you can find balance a little more quickly. This one leg dropping down in front of me helps keep my core engaged and avoids that common tendency of folding over into a bridge. Okay? If you would like, connect your feet, find your handstand. Okay? So take a couple moments, feel free to play around with that, pause the video, and then when you're done, we'll come down onto our glutes. Okay? From here, let's roll onto our back. Begin to settle in. Shoulders relaxing. Arms alongside your body. Feet out wide. Let your knees fall in toward one another. Here, see if you can feel your heartbeat. Calm your breathing. And then let's gently walk the feet in hip distance apart. We'll let the legs extend out and just notice how your hip flexors feel. If this is a bit of a pull and opening through the front body, then we'll stay here. If it's not quite an opening, then we'll grab hold of our block, bend the knees again, and just lift the hips so the block can slide underneath. Let your legs extend back out so that we get this opening through the psoas again. Now, often or sometimes this can place some pressure on the low back. So one way to avoid that is perhaps with the release of the arms overhead, that lengthening of the body, taking some pressure out of that low area. This can be sometimes just enough to sink in. If there's still pressure in the low back, then feel free to bend one knee. Foot can either be rooted into the mat or pull that knee right in towards the chest and let your hands wrap around. We're looking for this opening. Your right knee pulled in could always move off toward the side. And then if you are doing one leg at a time, let's pull that left leg in, let the right leg, or whichever way, whatever leg you had, switch it up, and find this other side. Next, pulling that knee in towards your chest, bending that other extended leg. And if you are on that block, lifting your hips high, sinking back down. One more time, pulling the knees in towards your chest. Rocking side to side, swiveling the knees as needed. And then scan your body. If there's any other pose you need to do, maybe one final twist, maybe it's a happy baby, any pose at all, take the time to hold the pose. And then begin to sink into your Shavasana. Lying down on your mat, use any props as needed. Maybe it's a seated meditation. Wherever you may be, start to listen to your body. Try to feel every cell relaxing. And although softening, still feeling that sense of energy, that awakening or being alive in the body. Allow your eyes to be very heavy. Allow space between the teeth. Tuck your chin in just a little more. Relax your shoulders. Ground through your hips. Feel the connection between the areas of your legs that connect and meet the support beneath them. As you ground down through your body, feel the supports lifting you up. Being anchored through the backside, but open and light through the front side. Let's take a full inhale through the nose. Full release out through the mouth. Allow your head to rock side to side. Become aware of the effort it takes to find that movement. Move through your fingers and through your toes. Roll through your wrists and through your ankles. If you would like that full body stretch, sweep your arms toward the back of the room, the back of your mat. Stretch your feet forward. Find that intensity as you reach, and then that full contrast, the softness as you let go and breathe out. Bring a bend into your knees, roll into your right side body. Take as long as you need in fetal position, rounding into the smallest ball or rock on your mat as can be. And then pressing away from your mat, come up into a seated pose. Cross legs, Sukhasana being your easy pose. If it's not comfortable, any other pose, extend the legs forward. Sit off to the side. Connect to your pose and bring in a full deep breath. Complete release out. Gentle sway or roll of your head side to side. Bringing your chin back down towards your chest. Bring your hands to heart center. Full inhale. And exhale. Let's inhale. Bring the thumbs up towards your forehead for all kind thoughts toward yourself and all others. Allow your thumbs to graze down the nose. Thumbs stop at the mouth for all kind words toward yourself and all others. Allow your thumbs to drop down toward your heart for kindness and love toward all others and toward yourself. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. From the light in me to the light in you. Namaste.